Yeah,
that cycle.
breaking the cycle of running from emotions, how she's feeling towards, a love interest to her family. That's all she really wants. So I think that is a big part of this episode for Max.
Honestly, wild cards. I mean, here we are in season three, and it continues to be so much fun. What excites you most about this world and these characters?
Um, do you want to go first? Or?
I love Max and her personality, how she can read people and being a con artist slash detective. It's a very interesting combo. And the dynamic of, the cop and con working together, solving crimes. I love how there's a mystery each episode. And now this new season coming up, um, we got several new things happening, with a new love interest for him, my mom coming back from the dead, as well as a big gang member that we're up against. So yeah, that's our crazy little world.
It's so much fun to step into it, and like you said, the dynamic between Max and Ellis is the tension there is wonderful. But what in your mind makes their dynamic work?
I think they have fun and enjoy each other, even though sometimes, she might get on his nerves a little bit in her terms of her sort of unorthodox approach of things. But they do genuinely care for each other deeply, and I think they've shown each other at different points how much they are there for each other as friends. And I think Max's character has lived a life on the road, which hasn't allowed her to really ever make long lasting friends and have really valuable friendships and meaningful friendships in her life. And Ellis has sort of just almost done that to himself. He's just kind of isolated himself in his life and hasn't really been very social and making friends. He goes to work, he goes home, he goes to work, he goes home. And so they're both people who are sort of lacking meaningful friendships in their lives. And I think they found each other, and I think they both really grabbed onto that. And then obviously through that found that it's more than friendship, and maybe there's something deeper than just friendship between them. And I think those are the things that we're exploring always within the show.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I would love to, Vanessa, I'd love to hear from you about Max's new role with her bedazzled badge, if you will. Her role on the Force. What does she bring to it, and what sort of challenges does she have stepping into that world?
Well, her new role is obviously it's the same as what her role was before. I feel like she just feels more validated, and she feels like, more deserving of being there, and that people are going to take her seriously, um, with her crazy ideas. And that shows. You could just tell she's more comfortable and just kind of owning it more, and you know, calling herself a detective and whatnot. But other than that, her role is basically the same. She just is treated more as a team member.
Yeah, well, I mean, and to follow that up too. Now I know this is specific to the premiere of season three, but there's a moment where Max says, "Never hustle a hustler."
Yeah.
And I love that line. I feel like it
Mm-hmm.
feels so true for her character, but and Ellis in a different way. But I wondered if, for the two of you, how you felt something like that, a line like that describes the show and their attitudes as on the Force.
I feel like it very much describes Max. You know what I mean? In the episode, it was obviously, a very literal thing. She makes this guy believe that she's this sort of floozy who can't play, and you know what I mean, and totally hustles him. And so at the end, of course, she reveals herself to be this incredible pool player who's just like amazing and making all the shots and stuff like that. So, but yeah, she's not somebody to be messed with, you know. And I think as a team, as a duo, we're not someone to be messed with. So I think that's sort of where it comes from.
Uh, just specific to that episode, Vanessa, I should ask you, how's your pool playing?
Yeah, I'm not very good, but I did make a couple good shots that I was proud of. Um, One really cool shot I was proud of that I didn't think I was gonna make, and they caught it on camera, so that's great, and it made me look good. But for the most part, I'm not a very good pool player, and the cameras are really gonna help me out.
Fair, fair.
Yeah.
But for both of you, I know as we get into these relationships for season three, and I know Vanessa, you mentioned Max, the return of Max's mom, um, from the dead, if you will. Um, but the theme of this year seems to be breaking the cycle. In both of your minds, what is necessary for these characters to break the cycle?
I think for Max, breaking the cycle would be really living in her truth and what she wants to do. I feel like she has so much pressure from her family of like and friends, Ricky, of living this life as a con artist and living for the thrill when she's clearly craving to settle down and do what her heart desires, which is, settle in, have a partner, Ellis, and just being honest, like just fully sitting down and being honest about her feelings, which I think is really hard for her to do, you know, um, is
And maybe
facing
just
it.
breaking the cycle of running, just being on
Yeah.
the run, breaking that
Yeah.
cycle.
Breaking the cycle of running from emotions, how she's feeling towards, a love interest to her family. That's all she really wants. So I think that is a big part of this episode for Max.
Um, for Ellis, I think in the first two seasons, it was a lot about, this sort of dark cloud of his brother's murder being unresolved that followed him around. And it's sort of like was his whole identity. It was sort of what he thought of from the moment he woke up to the moment he went to sleep. So having some sense of closure from that, having found the person who was responsible, he's sort of breaking that cycle of being in that rut of depression and feeling sorry for himself and allowing himself to feel joy and love and being open to the possibility of happiness in his life. So, yeah, we're going to see him sort of enjoying life and saying yes to things and being happier and giving himself permission to be happy.
That's great for his character, is to be have a chance to have a break after
Yeah,
all of that that went
yeah.
down for sure. Now Max is under the great stress as we see in the season three, where things go from here. But the dynamic of the two of you on set is just so wonderful. You have a great chemistry. What do you see in the other person that makes you a better performer?
It's a great question.
I think when uh, Giacomo, delivers his lines to me, if obviously he's an amazing actor, so it's genuine, it feels real. I feel like I'm living as Max. I feel like I'm living in that moment. You know what I mean? He's giving his all, and he's the character. So of course, as an actress, that helps me deliver the lines more believable when I feel those emotions in his eyes. um,
Definitely.
it's believable. So, eyes are a big one. When you see the genuine emotion in the eyes, it definitely helps
Yeah.
bring out that for me.
No, and I feel the same way about Vanessa. And I think, I look so forward to our scenes together that are more about our relationship
Mm.
and that are more dramatic because most of our scenes together are solving these crimes, which is sort of very rapid pace banter. We're making jokes. We're on the way to a crime scene. We're trying to figure out who solved. And then every once in a while throughout the season, we'll get these little scenes where we're really talking about our relationship. We might get into an argument. We might be confessing feelings for each other. And those ones that have nothing to do with solving a case or being funny are really the ones that I gravitate towards, and it's where I really appreciate Vanessa, and I think we have put some really great scenes together on camera that I'm very proud of, and that the fans really love too. So
Honestly, I think that's what makes the show work is, I mean, procedurals are fun. It's always fun to sort of
mm.
unpack the mystery, but it's watching these two characters sort of grow and that I want to say the word dance between them, I think is what gives it its joy.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's really, really, really fun. Um, I'd love to hear from you just as we start to wrap. What is it that you hope these characters get to experience as we move into season three?
Hmm. Well, I think, of course, like we both probably long for these characters to find each other truly and to love each other and to be with each other. But as audience members, we have to try to figure out how to make that more interesting for a longer period of time for an audience, right? So I think every season our writers are trying to throw obstacles in their way of these lovers, right? To make their path to each other complicated and difficult. And um, but yeah, I think regardless, they're getting closer, even if they're not getting closer physically or in an intimate way. Every season that goes by, they're continuing to get closer and closer and closer, and their bond, whether it's friendship or more than that, is deepening regardless.
Love that. Love that. Honestly, thank you both so much for the time. I really appreciate it. The show is so much fun and just a blast. I appreciate the chance to chat with you about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a
Bye.
great day.